What if I told you that you can become a disciplined trader without putting much effort into it? That you can follow your rules and finally stop your frustration about not being able to stick to your plan? Wouldn't that make your trading more profitable and successful and your life more fulfilling and joyful? Welcome to the Confidence in Trading podcast. I am your host, Agnieszka Wood, a trading mindset coach and a seasoned day trader with over a decade of experience. In this podcast, we take a deep dive into different perspectives to inspire you and to help you navigate the emotional ups and downs of trading with self compassion and confidence. Whether you are just starting out or you are a seasoned pro, this podcast is your trusted companion, providing the support you need to succeed as a trader. Join me on this incredible journey as we explore the fascinating psychology and human element of trading. Get ready to boost your confidence and unlock the secrets to mastering your mindset for success. Welcome to episode number 22, Trading Discipline Without Effort. Today, I want to talk to you about discipline, but I want to look at it through a different lens than most people do and offer you a totally different approach to building your discipline as a trader. Discipline is often associated with self control, obedience, and adherence to rules. And even though it is a key element to achieving your goals and improving yourself and your circumstances, it can be also perceived as unpleasant for many reasons. For one, it can feel as if it restricts your freedom because it involves adhering to a set of rules, which oftentimes can feel constraining. If you are someone who values your autonomy, this sense of restriction can be uncomfortable. So, if you prioritize independence and freedom in your life, you may be hesitant to stick to rigid plans when you believe your intuition or judgment should guide your decisions. Discipline also often requires consistent effort, dedication, and the willingness to make sacrifices in the short term to achieve long term goals. And this can be psychologically demanding and especially difficult for someone who seeks instant gratification and has a hard time seeing the value in delayed outcomes. I know it very well because I am someone who gets motivated by seeing not only immediate but also tangible results. On top of that, some people associate discipline with punishment, especially when they have experienced strict forms of discipline in their past. So that can lead to negative connotations and not much enthusiasm about discipline. Next thing I want to mention about discipline is something that resonates with many traders: fear of failure. Discipline often requires motivation, which can be inconsistent for some people. When motivation wanes, it is pretty challenging to maintain discipline. So some people rather avoid it because they are afraid that they will fall short of their goals and disappoint themselves, or maybe even others. That fear of not meeting expectations can make discipline seem daunting and intimidating. So the perception of discipline varies from person to person and depends on individual experiences, values, and goals. Some individuals embrace discipline as a means to achieve their objectives and lead a more fulfilling life, while others may find it challenging or unpleasant. Because of all this, the discipline and the desire for independence and freedom can be quite conflicting concepts for traders. But regardless of how differently people perceive it and how they feel about it, everybody agrees that discipline is a key component of achieving success in trading. For example, discipline is crucial in risk management. Following strict risk management rules and strategies can help you protect your capital and ensure that you have the financial freedom to continue trading independently. And you are more likely to preserve your independence and freedom in the long term. Discipline also help you maintain a consistent approach to trading strategy. And we all know that consistency is key to achieving long-term success and financial independence as a trader. The research has shown that following a disciplined approach can lead to long-term benefits, including improved decision-making skills, goal attainment, and the ability to resist impulsivity. So, in short, by being disciplined, you can increase your chances of making profitable trades and realizing your goals. So, what can you do? Because you definitely want to succeed, right? And it looks like whether you like it or not, you need to build discipline. And that brings me to the discipline building approach that at the least you might find interesting, or that might change your whole attitude to discipline. And who knows, you might even start liking it. I want to invite you to consider applying effortless action as a way to develop and sustain discipline in your life. Effortless action, often referred to as flow or the zone, is a state of being where you become fully immersed in a task, performing it with ease and precision, where you are fully engaged in an activity, feeling focused, motivated, and in control. It has been extensively studied by psychologists and it has profound implications for discipline and personal development. So, how do you get into the flow? Flow or effortless action often arises when individuals are driven by their own genuine interest and passion for the task at hand. Discipline becomes easier to build when you really enjoy what you're doing because it doesn't feel like a chore. In a state of effortless action, procrastination is less likely to occur. Since the tasks feel easier and less intimidating, there's less resistance to getting started. This helps you tackle tasks promptly, which is a crucial aspect of discipline. Effortless action often involves a high degree of concentration and focus. When you are deeply absorbed in your work, distractions become less tempting, allowing you to maintain your discipline and stay on track. Can you recall sitting in front of the charts and before you knew the day was gone? Effortless action often leads to better results because you are fully engaged and making fewer mistakes. This can reinforce discipline as you see the positive outcomes of your efforts, motivating you to continue working diligently. Achieving a state of effortless action can be inherently rewarding. The satisfaction of effortlessly completing a task can serve as positive reinforcement for your disciplined efforts, encouraging you to repeat them in the future. And when you are in the flow, you tend to manage your time more effectively. This can lead to better planning and utilization of your resources, which is an essential component of discipline. And also, your time perception changes. Time either seems to fly by or stand still. This distorted perception of time can help you sustain your discipline for extended periods without feeling overwhelmed by the duration of what you're doing. A very important role that effortless action plays is in your overall well being. It can reduce stress and anxiety associated with difficult tasks. Lower stress levels contribute to a more composed and disciplined approach to challenges. Flow often involves clear goals and immediate feedback. This clarity helps you to stay disciplined as you have a clear understanding what needs to be done and you can track the progress effectively. In the flow state, people often lose their sense of self awareness. This can be advantageous for discipline because you become less focused on ego driven concerns such as fear of failure or judgment and expectations from others. What's really interesting is that on a neurological level, flow triggers the release of neurotransmitters like dopamine, endorphins, and norepinephrine, which are associated with pleasure, reward, and heightened focus. These chemicals enhance motivation and concentration, making it easier to maintain discipline. Studies using neuroimaging techniques have shown that Flow is associated with increased connectivity in various brain regions, particularly in the prefrontal cortex. This enhanced connectivity supports better decision making, attention, and impulse control, all crucial for discipline and all crucial for traders. Flow state is often characterized by reduced activity in the default mode network in your brain, which is associated with mind wandering and self referential thoughts, autobiographical memories, and imagining the future. This reduction in DMN activity allows for sustained attention on the task and minimizing distractions. So, as you can see, there is a very close correlation between discipline and a state of flow. So, if building discipline for whatever reason does not sound attractive to you, just focus on getting into a state of flow. Then you don't have to work so hard and still get the results you desire. And I can imagine that now you're thinking, very well, but how do I do that? How can I cultivate the flow, the effortless action in my daily routine? And I want to give you a few practical tips for cultivating effortless action and flow. First of all, define specific, achievable goals. This is a very common pitfall for many traders. Setting unrealistic goals and coming into the field with unrealistic expectations. Setting clear and attainable goals will help you stay focused and motivated. Secondly, it is imperative that you are doing something that you enjoy doing. One of the very first questions I ask my students is, what is your why? Why are you trading? Not what you want to gain from it, but what is the reason that you decided to choose this incredibly challenging field to make your dreams come true? Because you cannot rely on money as a sustainable motivator in trading. So there must be something different in there that piques your interest and your passion, that will keep you engaged. Because when you genuinely enjoy what you are doing, entering flow becomes more natural. Create a distraction free environment. Turn off notification, find a quiet space, and eliminate potential interruptions to enhance your concentration. There is so much information that is coming at you just from the market, just by watching the chart. So make sure that nothing else except for the market is there when you are trading. Balance is key to entering the float state. And of course, due to the nature of trading, being in or out of balance determines the bottom line. Avoid getting out of balance. Make sure that you are matching your skill level with the challenge level. For example, don't expect yourself to be able to trade significant capital or manage a high number of positions at once if you are just starting out. That can cause unnecessary anxiety and impact your overall performance. On the other hand, tasks that are too easy can lead to boredom and get you out of focus. For some people, it is very easy to get out of balance. And one of the very effective ways to live in balance is through practicing meditation. If you have known me for a while, you know that I am a huge advocate of meditation. Mindfulness meditation can help you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, making it easier to enter the flow state. Meditation was found to improve attention and concentration. These can contribute to quicker recognition and management of negative experiences. And that helps you detach from distressing emotions more effectively. You can imagine how helpful that would be for you in trading, right? The research also indicated that meditation, particularly mindfulness and compassion practices, can lead to enhanced emotional regulation. People who meditate regularly showed increased activity in brain regions associated with emotional control and decreased activity in areas linked to emotional reactivity. The collaboration between neuroscientists and Tibetan Buddhist monks, including the Dalai Lama, has yielded groundbreaking research on the effects of meditation on the human brain, particularly regarding the quicker release of negative experiences. One of the researches on the effects of meditation and mindfulness on the brain was conducted by a prominent neuroscientist, Dr. Richard Davidson. In one of the experiments, what they did was they brought people into the laboratory with matching age and gender. They had people who have meditated and they had people who have never meditated. And they were using a kind of metal plate that they strap onto the wrist of the people participating in the experiment. And through this plate, they could circulate the water very rapidly and they could regulate the water temperature. So they made it very hot, like burning your skin hot. And so first they gave them a little taste of how it feels. And then they brought them into the MRI scanner and told them they are going to hear two tones. When they hear a very high pitched tone, then they can expect that in 10 seconds they are going to get zapped with this very painful stimulus. And if they hear a low tone sound, they can expect just to feel warm, but it won't be hot. So during the experiment, they were observing the pain circuit in the brain. And in the brain of the non-meditating people, the moment they were presented with a high-pitched tone, so no stimulus, just a tone, their brain responded as if it received the actual pain, as if they felt the actual high heat. When they did it with the meditators, when they received the tone, nothing happened in their brain, no change in their pain matrix. Then when the actual heat came on, both groups responded. But then, as soon as the pain stimulus went off, the meditators went right back to baseline. The non-meditators' pain circuits were still reverberating, as if they couldn't shut them off. They were ruminating about the pain. When you think about this, can you imagine how meditating could help you control your revenge trading behavior? If you're interested to know more about that research, it's really very fascinating. On YouTube, you can watch the full documentary. You will find a link in the description of this podcast episode. Beyond the emotional benefits, meditation was also linked to improvements in overall mental health and well-being. Meditators reported lower levels of stress, anxiety, and depression, along with greater life satisfaction. So overall, a great impact on your performance as a trader. So just to finish with the tips how to enter the flow, make sure you develop a daily routine that includes dedicated time for the tasks that require discipline, because consistency will help you enter flow more easily over time. And invest time in building your skills in those areas that truly matter to you. As your competence grows, you will find it easier to enter flow states. If you incorporate at least some of those tips into your daily routines, it can help you cultivate effortless action and enter the flow state more frequently. And as a result, you will find it much easier to maintain discipline and achieve your goals. I hope this episode inspired you to explore this new way of looking at the discipline and working on strengthening it. Remember, where there is a will, there is a way. So find your way, get in the flow, and nothing will be impossible for you. Remember to visit my website, aheadcoach.com, and subscribe to the Trading Mindset Mastery Tips. So every Saturday, you can receive actionable tips to help you build the mindset required for successful trading. You get the first 3 months free and no credit card is required. Just visit aheadcoach.com and you will see it right there on the homepage. Thank you for listening to the Confidence in Trading podcast. If you are enjoying my show, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and share it with your fellow traders. And if you are new to my show, don't forget to subscribe so you can come back for the next episode. Thank you again for tuning in. This is Agnieszka Wood from Ahead Coach. Bye for now.